Watch closely, because this isn't Rachel Reeves defending a budget. This is a Chancellor being slowly, politely dismantled by her own answers. Shorter, sharper. No shouting. No drama. Just one question, and a budget starts collapsing.
Now, Chancellor, in the run-up to the general election, you said that you had no plans for tax rises beyond what was in your manifesto and that you would focus on growth. You've now put together two of the biggest tax-raising budgets in UK history. And the Office for Budget Responsibility has told us that there's not a single measure overall that has a positive growth impact. They think, in fact, that tax hikes are harming growth. So can you tell us what your growth plan is? It's not one of the priorities of this budget.
Thank you very much for that question. First of all, we've been through this a number of times. There was new information after the general election. First of all, the £22 billion black hole in the public finances left by the previous government.
Which has been discredited by the Office for Budget Responsibility.
Not at all. The £22 billion black hole left by the previous government, which was set out to me by Treasury officials the weekend that I became Chancellor of the Exchequer, which we had to fill.
So you chose not to put any new growth measures in this budget.
Well, that's exactly.
Can I just
no, that's not what I said. Dame Harriet.
Sorry,
Dame Harriet.
Perhaps Dame Harriet, if you ask a question, then the Chancellor can.
Yes, but don't contradict what I just said. Yes, we have regular meetings of the Growth Mission Board, but I did not say in the answer to my question, as you suggested, that there were no growth measures in this budget. Far from it. Of course, the previous government took taxes to a record high and saw interest rates go through the roof.
And since the general,
I'm not surprised you don't want to hear about the previous government, nor the voters.
Budget measures. Can I just have
there we are. There's a rare moment of agreement. No one wants to hear about the previous government.
Questions and answers would be good, please.
Yes, which is what I'm trying to do, Dame Meg.
This exchange is a masterclass in how modern political credibility collapses, not with a scandal, but with a spreadsheet and a well-timed question. Rachel Reeves walks into committee with all the confidence of a Chancellor who believes repetition equals reality. Growth. Stability. Investment. Growth again. Say it enough times and maybe it becomes true. But Harriet Baldwin doesn't play that game. She plays the numbers. Her opening move is devastatingly simple. You said no tax rises beyond the manifesto. You delivered two of the biggest tax-raising budgets in UK history. OBR says growth is harmed. So, what's the growth plan? That's not an ambush. That's accountability. From that moment on, Reeves is on the back foot, scrambling through a fog of explanations that sound impressive until you realise none of them answer the actual question. A £22 billion black hole that apparently appeared after the election and conveniently swallowed every pre-election promise. Productivity downgrades blamed on the past. Capital investment held up like a shield. Heathrow runways presented as GDP. Film studios treated as economic salvation. This isn't growth policy, it's economic storytelling. And Harriet doesn't interrupt. She lets the story unravel. She circles back, calmly, almost politely, and lands the line that cuts deepest. So you chose not to put any new growth measures in this budget? At that moment, the entire performance wobbles. Reeves snaps, not angrily, but defensively. That's not what I said. But everyone watching knows that's exactly what happened. Because if the growth measures were real, measurable, and central, they wouldn't need this much explaining. Then comes the second blow, uncertainty. Harriet points out what economists, businesses, and homeowners already feel, that anticipation of tax hikes changes behavior. Investment pauses. Mortgages stall. Decisions freeze. Reeves responds with the political equivalent of, at least we're not Liz Truss, which may be emotionally satisfying, but economically meaningless. And just when Reeves thinks she's weathered it, Harriet opens the IMF checklist. Council tax. Road pricing. Capital gains on homes. Pension locks. The silence that follows is louder than any protest. A simple yes where reassurance was needed. That's not confidence, that's exposure. The final act is the high street. Reeves claims permanently lower business rates. Harriet brings receipts, pubs facing 15% hikes, music venues crushed, hospitality crying foul. Reeves explains caps, averages, transitions, but by then the trust is gone. Because no pub landlord survives on averages. They survive on cash flow. What makes this moment so powerful isn't drama. It's restraint. No shouting. No insults. Just the quiet destruction that happens when claims meet consequences. This is what political accountability looks like when it's done properly. And it leaves us with an uncomfortable question. If this is what a pro-growth budget looks like under pressure, what exactly are we growing, the economy, or just the Chancellor's list of excuses?